Hi, my name is Amy. Thank you very much for watching, and let's make some bad financial decisions together. And before I forget, this is entertainment only, no financial advice to be found here. Um, so this morning when I woke up, Robinhood sent this as a push notification, this control the recent rise of activist investing, why it matters. And when I read the title, it reminded me of years ago. There was an article that I read about how people were being more conscious about picking companies that they agree with, just like, green energy and social good and just being like good companies. And I'll get into that later because that's not what this article is about. This article was about the mega ultra rich buying enough shares of a company to gain enough influence to force a company to disregard everything in pursuit of profit, which reminds me of how Star Trek tried to make the Ferengi um, the main villains, but it didn't work because they didn't come across as scary. But um, raw capitalism, profit over everything else, is actually super scary. So I don't blame Star Trek. But I was more excited about the possibility of that title because um, getting back into investing, I haven't actually heard that much about thematic ETFs like that. Now, I like, yeah, sure, like semiconductors or healthcare or REITs. Yeah, like those, but not like we're specifically making an ETF that's renewable energy. It just hasn't really come across everything that I've read this time around. So, but it also reminds me years ago when I first heard about it, I was like, wow, that's doesn't seem like it would make a lot of money. But you know what people do if you want to do something that's super specific and thematic, you should do people's vices. Things like gambling and gaming and smoking. I assumed that this would be pretty good with a recession because, even no matter what the economy's like, people are going to drink, they're going to gamble, and they're going to smoke. So, without doing much research, I tried to um, buy into this just a little bit, just because I was amused. But Vanguard would not let me purchase it. And then I tried to open up brokerage at USAA, and they also wouldn't let me buy into it. And then I gave up. I didn't care about it too much, or that much, which is probably for the best because it doesn't perform that well. Um, it would just be for your own amusement more than an actual strategy. But the reason why USAA doesn't do it is because it includes alcoholic beverages, but the defense part, guns, they don't they don't do guns. So I just found that um, if you were looking for something that is stable, just intuitively, this would have seemed like a good one, but um, it actually isn't. But I did do a quick Google search, and there is an ETF that if you want to be more careful about where your dollars are going, this might work out for you. And it is SPYX. So basically, I guess I've evolved as a human instead of doing green companies or whatever, I'm going to go with everybody's vices. No. SPYX is the S&P 500, except it accepting any company that has fossil fuel reserves. So like no gas companies, no petroleum, nothing. They exclude anything that uses fuel. So I'm not saying to do it, but I am saying it's an option. And I find myself as I get older and have grown as a person that I'm more inclined, if I have the choice and I have the money, I want to buy things that were sustainably produced and are good for the environment and more sustainable. So why not? Anyways, this is totalreturns.com. I do not own them, not affiliated with them in any way, but you can see how SPYX is not great. And then the interesting thing about SPYX is you would have more money than if you had just done regular SPY, because it gets rid of the companies that have fossil fuels and they're not doing super well. So I actually did a separate one that's just these two, because I'm not sure. I guess this actually is the beginning of the fund, 2015, December. But yeah, if you'd put $10,000 in SPYX in 2015, you would have more money than if you had just done SPY. Not like a ton, but in this case, it's more profitable to be more conscious about what you're investing in. So, in conclusion, and I did look at here, it has a 20% expense ratio, so nothing super crazy. I don't know if they have distributions, but regular SPY doesn't really have distributions. But yeah, it's an option. And if that is something that you care about, it's 1.28% dividend yield. So it's basically like VU. Just, don't give up all of your profit, and don't give up any of your profit. But if you can, and it makes sense, look into green options. Look into options that don't support fossil fuel. And this isn't advice, obviously, and I'm not saying to do this, but I am interested in SPYX. I don't think there's any time in the future where coal and fuel are going to, at least not traditional fuel. There might be, whenever they've been able to synthesize corn with bacteria fast enough to create alternative fuel at a commercial scale, then maybe it wouldn't even be fossil fuel then, it would just be genetically modified fuel. So I think you're pretty safe in excluding fossil fuel. That's all I'm gonna say on this. Anyways, what are your thoughts? Have you ever heard about SPYX before, and why or why not? Why haven't you considered something like this? So please like, subscribe, tell me if you like this. So anyway, have a good night. Bye.